شرح الإكسفوورد في اللغة الإنجليزية. الصف التاسع الفصل الثاني. Model 4. If you are happy, write about it. Student's book. Before you start, look at the photos. Do you know any languages that use these alphabets? In which countries are these languages used? 1. Ancient Chinese ideograms. 2. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. 3. A welcome sign for tourists in different languages. 4. Old Russian typewriter. 5. Arabic calligraphy. It took primitive man thousands of years to invent writing. All over the world, different civilizations developed their own languages and their own writing systems. The more efficient the written language was, the faster the civilization developed. The Egyptian civilization, the Sumerian civilization, ancestors of the Iraqs. The Indus Valley Civilization and the Chinese civilization were the first to communicate by writing. This is why they are considered the most developed ancient civilizations. Samples of writing from these civilizations have survived. They are about 5,500 years old. Hieroglyphics were one of the first modes of graphic communication. Hieroglyphic writing was the picture that the Egyptians and the Mayans used. Nowadays, systems for writing are based on symbols for sounds, not on pictures. We call these systems alphabets. The first alphabet was invented in Igorot, a town on northern coast of Syria, in the 14th century BC. Following the listening strategies, listen to the word below in context. Try to guess their meanings. 1. The primitive technology in that town just doesn't work. 2. I am very efficient at work, I doesn't waste any time. 3. The Sumerian civilization was in modern-day Iraq. 4. An ancestor of mine, my great-great-grandfather, was a captain. 5. Communicate with me more. Let me know what you are thinking. 6. One of the first forms of writing was Egyptian hieroglyphics. 7. I love traveling by train. It's my favorite mode. Primitive, belonging to early times of history and no longer existing in modern days. Efficient, producing satisfactory results. Sumerian, belonging to the ancient civilization of Sumerian in the southern Mesopotamia. Ancestor, a person who was a member of one's family a long time ago. Communicate to tell and share information. Hieroglyphics, an ancient Egyptian form of writing in which pictures represent words. Mode, a manner of doing something. Reading. Before you start, what do you do if you want to post a letter? I put in an envelope put a stamp on it and send it by the postal service. Read the text. Which came first, the alphabet, hieroglyphics, or cave painting? How do you think people will communicate in 20 years' time? Cave paintings came first. I think people will communicate electronically in 20 years' time. Listen to the words below in context. Try to guess their meanings. Clay, a soft, sticky type of earth that is used for making pottery, brick, etc. Governmental people who rule a country or state. Suitable, appropriate for particular purpose, person, or occasion. Light, easy to lift or carry and having little weight. Portable, moved from one place to another. Papyrus, a kind of paper used in ancient Egypt. Messenger, a person who carries letters or information from one place to another. To compass, to fall suddenly and completely. Private, owned by citizens and not be very government. A short history of written communication. When people talk about the most important developments of civilization, that usually mention writing. Writing make it possible for people to send messages over long distance and across time. Imagine living on Earth 30,000 years ago. If you are good at drawing, you will cover the walls of your cave with paintings of your hands. If you are a good hunter, you will draw the animals you've hunted to show people. Such drawings are among the earliest examples of writing. Thousands of years pass and writing moves from drawings to hieroglyphics and then alphabets. As written language develops, people realize they can communicate with other people farther away. They want to send letters, but if you want to send a letter, you should use a postal service. The earliest example of a postal service comes from the ancient Egypt, a clay letter nearly 4,000 years ago. The first government postal service began in China about 3,000 years ago, but people still needed something suitable to write on. Then 2,500 years ago, the Egyptians discovered a light, portable writing material, papyrus. Soon afterwards, messengers on foot or horseback carried messages in Egypt and China. During the reign of Augustus Caesar, 27 BCE to 40 CE, the Romans organized Europe's first postal service, but after the Roman Emperor Columbus, the service stopped. In the late Middle Ages, private postal system carried personal and business mail. People still send letters today, but if they want others to get their news right away, they send an email. Grammar. First conditional أفعال جملة الشرط. First condition الجملة الشرطية من النوع الأول. الجملة الشرطية هي الجملة التي تحتوي على شرط لحتى تحدث أو لا تحدث، إذا مبنية على أساس هذا الشرط. تستخدم عند التحدث عن شيء من المحتمل أن يحدث، وتقسم إلى قسمين. جملة الإف كلوز تتكون من إف زائد الفعل المضارع، أما من كلوز تتكون من الفعل والفعل المجرد. If you study hard you will get high mark. الشرط إذا درست جيدا، والنتيجة سوف تحصل على علامة جيدة. if هي if clause جملة الشرط تأتي مع الفعل study فعل مضارع بسيط وجاء مجرد أي زيادة لأن الفاعل مفرد، أما will يأتي بعدها دائما فعلا مجردا. مضارع البسيط هو التصريف الأول للفعل إذا كان الفاعل جمع أو ضمير يكون مجرد إذا كان وينفى بدونت وبعدها فعل مجرد، أما إذا كان الفاعل مفرد نضيف للفعل اس ويكون النفي doesn't. is are has have هي أفعال مضارعة بسيطة عندما تأتي في جملة لوحدها، أما نفيها فيكون ب want لجملة المين clause. She is clever. I have a big home. ممكن أن تأتي جملة الإف في الجزء الثاني أي في الوسط وعندها تحذف الفاصلة بين جملة المين كلوز والإف كلوز. I will get high mark if I study. سوف أحصل على علامة عالية إذا درست. Match the sentence beginnings 1 to 4 with their endings A to D. Then write them down in your notebook. 1. If you want to know more about communication by writing. 2. If you read the article. 3. If you are a caveman that is good at drawing. 4. If you want to send a letter. A. You may decide to cover the walls of your cave with paintings of your hands. B. You should use a postal service. C. You should read this short history of writing. D. You will want to know more about the subject. 1C, 2D, 3A, 4B. 2. Read and complete the text about reading tracks in the desert. Then listen to and check your answers. Notice will, have to, will, know, see, want. If you want to discover the desert and experience the life of the Bedouins who live there, you have to visit the Wadi Rum Desert in Jordan. If you spend enough time there, you will soon be able to read and understand the surface and the sand like a book. If you see eating grass and a disordered surface of the sand, you will know that a herd of sheep has passed from there. You will also notice the difference between a young traveler's footprint and that of an older one. If you see wavy lines in the sand, you will know then that a snake was there not long ago. Read the story below. Work in groups to make conditional sentence about the story. If Omar sends the email, his classmate won't bother him again. If Omar sends the email, his grades will become better. If Omar sends the email, his parents will become happy. If Omar doesn't send the email, his classmate will keep bothering him. If Omar doesn't send the email, he will not like going to school anymore. If Omar doesn't send the email, his parents won't be happy. In a group, have a debate about sending letters or emails based on the statement, it is a waste of paper and money to send someone a letter, not an email. Use expressions like the ones on page 7, exercise 7, as well as other expressions like what if. I'd agree with you if if you are talking about then to agree or disagree. What if? I'd agree with you if you are talking about then. What if we use emails instead of letters? That seems reasonable today. I can't agree. Not all of us have an access to the internet. If you are talking about sending letters abroad, I think emails are cheaper and faster. I'd agree with you if we have a lot of people abroad. I think SMS messages are also cheap and fast. Letters take much time and can be lost. They are unreadable today. How the Egyptians wrote. Before you start, look at the pictures. Who are these people? They are Egyptian scripts. What are they doing? They are writing official documents. What are they doing? They are writing official documents. Temple, a place of worship in ancient Egypt. Script, a person who used to make written copies of official documents in the past. To represent, to be a symbol of something. Figure, a drawing that represents something or someone. Competition, the act of joining two or more things. Now read through the article and check your answers. The Egyptian developed writing about 6,000 years ago. Scripts were among the few people who could read and write. They decorated their temples with hieroglyphics, which Egyptians called the words of God. The Egyptians developed hieroglyphic writing at the same time as Sumerian writing was developed on soft clay. However, the Egyptians didn't write on clay, they wrote on papyrus, wood and rock walls. The Egyptians were the first to use writing in everyday life. That is how they found the hieroglyphics were great for creating temple walls, but not very useful in daily business. For these more common activities, people used a simpler script. Called heretic. Hieroglyphic writing used symbols or pictures to represent objects. People who people wrote hieroglyphics in rows or columns. In the case of rows, you can read them from left to right or from right to left. You must look at the human or animal figures to work out which direction to read. They always face towards the beginning of the lines. In the case of a column, you must read from top to bottom. Hieroglyphic symbols are divided into alphabetical signs that represent a singular sounds. Signs that represent a combination of two or three consonants. There were also word signs. These are pictures of objects. There were at least 700 symbols, and each symbol had up to three meanings. Also, a symbol could represent just one sound, or it could represent the picture it showed. Our writing system today is much simpler. Listen to the text about writing and choose the correct answer. The pressure used when writing can reveal a lot about a person's character. When someone presses down hard when writing, they are usually nervous. When someone writes lightly, they typically deal with unpleasant situations very calmly. People who press down a medium amount are often good at dealing with stress. You can use a pencil to draw a line that reaches for about 55 kilometers, or to write up to 45,000 words. A ballpoint pen, on the other hand, can only draw a line between 1,200 to 2,300 meters along. The color of the ink we choose can tell us a few things about our personality. For example, people who choose green ink may show a desire to adapt, and a sociable person may choose blue ink. Red ink points to violence or dominance, and black, the ink, suggests power. If you write using your right hand, you can read the writing on a pencil. If you use the other hand, the writing will usually be upside down. Writing using separate letters suggests that you are spontaneous or artistic. Writing using attached letter indicates that you are highly cautious. If your writing is between the two, then you will have a balance between reason and feelings. Communication workshop. What do you think proverbs can tell us about the place they came from? They can tell us about the traditions and cultures of the places they come from. Can you think of any Jordanian values expressed in Arabic proverbs? Honesty, generosity, courage, etc. Actions speak louder than words. Speech is silver, but silence is gold. Words cut more than swords. Wrong hears, wrong answer gives. Least said, soonest mended. Complete the sentences with the phrases from the box. Will match, will give, may want, should take, can, don't allow, will be. If you do your homework on the computer, it's quicker. You use my dictionary if you want to check the meaning of these words. If you are still in pain, use the medicine that your doctor prescribed. Fadia will not watch TV tonight if her parents her. If you want to find more information about science, you to use the encyclopedia. If we paint the wall purple, it's the new furniture. If you see an old person standing on the bus, you up your suit to them. Will be, can, should take, don't allow, may want, will match, must give. Pairs complete these sentences, then share your reasons, responses. Example: if you get good grades, you will feel very happy. Yes, yes, I will. What will you do if your friend has a problem? If my friend has a problem, I will ask my parents for advice. Crossword puzzle. Across, when a building falls down suddenly, collapse. A very old time in history. Primitive. To have a particular meaning of something. Represent. A hard sticky earth used to make pottery. Clay. Someone in the past who was employed to make copies of writing documents. Script. A person or an animal's shaped figure. A type of paper used in ancient Egypt. Papyrus. A place of worship in ancient Egypt. Temple. Someone in your family who is generations older than you. Ancestor. Project. An email in hieroglyphics. From, to, come here to study with me.